Krishna, I depend totally on you, you take care of me. That is Uttama Sharanagati. And when we offer ourselves like that, in Govardhana Leela, that is the entire theme of Govardhana Leela, Sharanagati. When these Gopas and Gopis, they were doing Indra Yaga regularly. It was a tradition to do Indra Yaga. And Bhagavan woke up one morning, he went to his father and he is asking him, Papa, why are you doing all this? What is this halla gulla about? Why is everybody gathered and why are you also busy? He said, we are going to do Indra Yaga today. And Bhagavan is asking, why do you have to do Indra Yaga? And the moment he questions, Nanda Baba is already worried. When Krishna is asking some question, he is going to certainly raise some doubts. So Nanda Baba was very well prepared. He knew exactly what he was doing. He said, we are doing this Indra Yaga to please Indra because we survive on the pastures here. Is it not? Because we have to graze the cows, and if the cows have to, we live, we thrive, our livelihood is grazing these cows, and we sell the milk and the butter and the curd, the products of the milk. That's how we sell it, that's how we take care of our life. And Krishna, if these cows have to be healthy, they need pasture. If we need, if there has to be pasture, we need rains, and Indra is the god for rains. So you please him. So he showers regularly. He showers rain regularly. Krishna asked a valid question. He said, Appa, I don't understand. If we do our duty, is it not Indra's duty to pour rains? He said, yes, Krishna, it is there, but still it is like a thanksgiving. He said, doesn't seem like a thanksgiving, it is not raining yet. Thanksgiving should happen after rains. You are doing it before, it is like bribing. Why should we bribe when he is supposed to do his duty? Nanda Baba did not know what to say. Nanda Baba said, Krishna, I know one thing. We have been doing this for a long time. And usually things that we do traditionally, if we stop, then the repercussions would not be good. So I am worried about it. Krishna said, don't worry, Appa, we will not do this Indra Puja, but we will do the puja for Govardhana. Because it is under Govardhana that we all live. We are protected by Govardhana. It is Govardhana that gives us pastures. And it is in these caves that we live. If that is the case, why should we do Indra Puja? We do Govardhana Puja. And everything was ready for Indra Puja. And all the priests were all there to do Indra Puja. That's what they knew to do. The Indra Yaga. And now when Bhagavan said, let us do Govardhana Puja, there were 5 lakh families in Gokula. Imagine, 5 lakh families. And Bhagavan was having this conversation with Nanda Baba. And everybody was standing and they all knew something was happening, but they were all still getting ready for the Indra Yaga. And when they saw Krishna was talking, they all waited to see what it was. But the fact was, Bhagavan was not talking in a mic. So these 5 lakh families who were there, not all of them could hear what Krishna was telling or what Nanda Baba was telling. At the end of it, when Bhagavan said, let's do Govardhana Puja, our Nanda Baba said, I have to ask the elders. So let me just ask them. And he said, Krishna is asking if we can do Govardhana Puja. And all of them till the end, they all said, yes, we will do whatever Krishna says. They had no clue what he said. They had no idea. All they knew was, all they heard was, Krishna said something. Whatever he says, he is always right. That's all. So they said, let's do it. So Nanda Baba said, okay, if everyone is okay with it, I am also okay with it. And the moment Bhagavan said that the priests were getting ready for Indra Yaga, they started looking at the Puja Vidhanam to do Govardhana Puja. Bhagavan went and sat beside them and he said, don't search for it there, it is not there. I am just creating this puja now. So I will give you the rules now, and the next edition we can have the Govardhana Puja included. Right now it's not there. And Bhagavan, usually the priest will be sitting and we will be sitting, the Yajaman is sitting next to him and he will be telling us what to do. Here Krishna was sitting and he was telling the priest what to do. Because he was the one who was telling how to do the puja. He was creating it. They all did their Govardhana Puja and we saw how Indra got very angry. That he felt very disappointed that there was no yaga happening this time. And he tried to destroy the entire Gokula by showering Pralayakala Megha on Gokula. When that happened, this is where we see the love and the faith that these Gopas and Gopis had, the unflinching faith that they had at the feet of Bhagavan. When it started raining like this, cats and dogs, and it was flooding all over, they understood that Indra was angry. Because it was Ativrishti. They immediately understood. They all ran to Bhagavan. Imagine, someone gives you an idea to do something and it becomes an utter failure. It is hurting you much. When that happens, will you go to the same person for a solution? You will not, is it not? But these Gopas and Gopis, they went back to Bhagavan. They knew it was Bhagavan who stopped the Indra Yaga, Indra Puja. In spite of it, they all went back to Bhagavan himself and they said, Krishna Krishna Mahabhaga, Tamnatham Gokulam Prabhu, you are the Lord for this Gokula. Krishna, tell us what to do. And this was what touched Bhagavan so much. Because Bhagavan, when it started raining, he was not amongst the people there. He was sitting separately on a rock and he waited to see what these Gopas and Gopis would be doing. And when they all came and they fell at the feet of Bhagavan, see, not one of them, not even one of them ever questioned Krishna. Saying, Krishna, it was all because of you. You were the one who stopped the Indra Yaga, that's why Indra is angry, that's why we are in danger now. Is it not? At least one of them should ask. Even if one is not asking, at least one among these 5 lakh families should be thinking, is it not? At least mentally. Even if a thought like that comes, where they doubt Bhagavan, Bhagavan would know. And Bhagavan is looking at the heart of all these Gopas and Gopis. Not one of them had even this inkling of a passion as to, Krishna, why did you do this? You were the one who stopped. Not one of them was asking. Bhagavan felt so touched. Said, what trust they have in me? So Bhagavan, see, whenever we submit ourselves like that to Bhagavan completely, Bhagavan gets a bhava. And he felt, when he looked at all the Gopas and Gopis and the cows and the calves, he felt all of them belong to me. Mannatham mat parigraham. They all, I am the Lord for all of them. They all belong to me. See, that bhava Bhagavan should have for us. If we say that we are devotees of Bhagavan, that's not enough. Bhagavan should feel that he is my devotee. That's more important, is it not? Or Guru Maharaj would say, you can call yourself a Krishna Bhakta or Shiva Bhakta or Devi Bhakta. But we should ask Krishna if we are his Bhakta or not. Is it not? Does he accept us as his Bhaktas? Only when Bhagavan has that feeling that he belongs to me, that is when he will go, beyond and protect. Is it not? That is what even we do. The feeling of mindness should come. See, that is bhakti from our side, where we feel that Bhagavan is mine. When you have that feeling, see, we are attached to everything in this world. We have the feeling of mindness for everything, is it not? See, there is this watch here. I have so much of a feeling that this belongs to me. And if something happens, see, 10 people here might be having the same watch. But if your watch gets hurt or broken, it doesn't hurt me at all. But if this piece gets hurt, it hurts me. Why? What is the difference? The only difference is because I think it is mine. The moment you think something is yours, the proximity of belonging makes a big difference. Is it not? When you have that feeling of mindness towards Bhagavan, that's called bhakti. And when Bhagavan has it for us, then it means that we belong to him. That it means that he has accepted our Sharanagati. That we have that faith and Bhagavan accepts it. And when we are like that, and when Bhagavan feels that we belong to him, he gets that bhava. Usually in spiritual life we say, you should not have two things. Ahankara and Mamakara. The I-ness and mine-ness. These two are the greatest obstacles in spiritual life. But when we have that kind of surrender, Bhagavan gets this I-ness and mine-ness with respect to us. He says, if you come to me with complete faith, Tesham aham samudharta, mrityu samsara sagara, bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasa. Bhagavan says, when they come to me like that, I will take care of them. Tesham aham samudharta. I will take them across the ocean of samsara. They don't have to do anything. And Bhagavan says, aham mama annatam mat parigraham. He gets that mamakara with respect to us. And Bhagavan lifts up the Govardhana and they all, Bhagavan calls them. And very beautifully in Bhagavatam, Bhagavan says, after lifting up the Govardhana, he says, don't worry, I will not drop the mountain on your head. He specifically says, don't worry about my dropping it. I'll hold it firmly. You come under this. Remember, Think about it. When you lift up a big mountain like that, he's literally taking it apart, is it not? When you do that, will there not be a big pit that will be formed when the mountain is lifted? And when it is flooding, where will the water go? It is supposed to go from a higher level to lower level, is it not? When Bhagavan lifted this Govardhana, there was this big pit. And Bhagavan specifically says, Garta, come to this pit. All of you come under this Govardhana, stand in this pit. I'll protect you. Will any of us go? Because all the flood is going to come only there if that happens. But Bhagavan says, Bhagavan has a beautiful name in Sahasranama. Mahagartaya Namaha. Bhagavan is that pit. Mahagarta means he is that Mahamaya. Bhagavan's Maya, his divine potency is such that he says, come under this pit. This is my Maya, and here Indra's Maya will not work. My Maya supersedes everybody's Maya. That's why Brahma's Maya did not work in Brahma Mohana Leela. Indra's Maya does not work in this Govardhana Leela, because Krishna's Maya supersedes everything. He says, come here, nothing will happen, and they all go into the pit. Imagine the kind of faith they should have to stand under a big mountain lifted by the little finger of a little boy. And that too in a pit. That is the faith they had. That whatever Krishna does for them, it is for their good. Bhaktanam sham abhipsatah. Bhagavan always wills only the welfare of his devotees. We have to understand. And that Sharanagati Tattva is what was shown in this Govardhana Leela. That is the highest spiritual state that one has to attain. That's the final step. In every marga, be it Jnana Marga, Bhakti Marga, that is the final step. Where we surrender unto Bhagavan completely. Is it not? So Prapatti is the highest phenomenon. There's nothing more than that. Nothing greater than that. And that is what is shown in Govardhana Leela. Where these Gopas and Gopis, Andal says, Arivundrum illada aikulam. It does not mean that they were not any less intelligent. See, they were the greatest of jnanis. Even when they are crying in Krishna Viraha, they say, Nakhalu gopika nandano bhavan akhila dehinam antaratma dhruk dikhana sarthito vishwaguptaye sakha udeyivan Satvatam kule Nakhalu gopika nandano bhavan Akhila dehinam antaratmadrik. He says, I know, they all say that we know Krishna, you are not just the son of this Yashoda Nanda Baba, you are Antaryami. They had that jnana. That's how they were. Since they knew it was Bhagavan, they had complete faith in him. That is the tattva shown in this entire Govardhana Leela.